It's the final days of December 2025, and Jessica Mulroney finds herself in the midst of a devastating personal upheaval. After 16 years of marriage, her divorce from Ben is proceeding, a painful dissolution that comes 5 years after a scandal obliterated her once thriving career. As she watches from the sidelines, Meghan Markle is launching high-profile Netflix projects, carefully positioning herself as an authentic, trustworthy voice to millions. But beneath the surface, something is stirring. Sources close to Jessica suggest she's been sharing disturbing revelations in private, stories from her years-long friendship with Meghan that paint a radically different picture.
One thing I noticed about Meghan is that most of her friendships actually have a use-by date. They have an end date, which is highly unusual, particularly when you see the amount of friends that have a use-by date.
Among the most explosive allegations, claims that Meghan had an inappropriate relationship with Ben during their Toronto years, and accusations of calculated manipulation and betrayal that, if substantiated, would shatter public perceptions entirely. The pattern is striking. Most of Meghan's friendships seem to come with expiration dates, ending abruptly and mysteriously. When you understand what Jessica has allegedly been confiding to her closest allies about what truly transpired, why the divorce is bringing years of buried resentment to the surface, and why reports indicate Meghan's team is deeply concerned about potential public revelations. Urgency becomes clear.
The first time it went up online revealed Archie and Lily's face for the first time in 3 years. Can you believe that? The first time Lily's face has been fully shown since 2022, when an official portrait was released for her birthday. Archie has not been shown in a photo since the Sussex's Christmas card in 2021, although there was that picture of the two of them.
Multiple sources are now alleging shocking details. Jessica has reportedly been telling confidants that Meghan engaged in an affair with Ben, that Meghan violated the sacred boundaries of Jessica's marriage in ways that irrevocably destroyed their friendship long before the 2020 public scandal. More disturbingly, Jessica allegedly possesses evidence she's preserved for years, documentation that would substantiate these betrayal claims if ever made public. The divorce from Ben has reportedly triggered a fundamental shift in Jessica's thinking. She's now questioning a painful reality. Why should she continue protecting someone who allegedly betrayed her in the most intimate way, then completely abandoned her when she desperately needed support?
It's gone to. Meghan is a slug that leaves trails of slime everywhere, and she gets found out systematically.
Lee needed support. Whether these allegations represent verified truth or sophisticated fabrication, the fact that they're emerging from multiple independent sources simultaneously has sparked an unavoidable question. Is the woman who holds Meghan's deepest secrets finally prepared to expose the truth about who Meghan really was during those formative Toronto years? Let's establish the documented foundation before examining the explosive allegations. Jessica Mulroney and Meghan Markle shared a genuine close friendship spanning nearly a decade, beginning in 2011 when Meghan relocated to Toronto to film Suits. The photographic record confirms their connection. Italian vacations in 2016, constant social media interactions celebrating their bond. Jessica, married to Ben Mulroney, son of former Canadian Prime Minister Brian Mulroney, had built a successful career as a sought-after stylist with her own television presence. The friendship's prominence was undeniable. Jessica's 3 children participated in the 2018 royal wedding as page boys and flower girl. She walked into St. George's Chapel alongside Kate Middleton herself, and she even joined Harry and Meghan on their Australia tour. These are verifiable, documented facts.
Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. And I like to think that Meghan would like that. Meghan likes to be number one. Meghan does not simply degrade Prince Harry. She degrades his entire family, his entire legacy. And this is a different kind of embarrassment. She has mocked his heritage, his traditions, his grandmother, the former Queen of England, and it seems like she did so happily.
Then, in June 2020, everything collapsed. Jessica faced accusations of white privilege from influencer Sasha Exeter. The consequences were swift and devastating. She lost television appearances, her reality show was canceled, and her career imploded seemingly overnight. During this crisis, Meghan completely severed contact, Page 6 reported sources suggesting that Meghan had been waiting for an excuse to end the friendship, and the scandal provided the perfect opportunity. Through it all, Jessica remained silent, declining lucrative book offers that could have told her side of the story.
Is it stupidity? Is it complicity? Or is it just that she has so much on them that they have to pay
fear.
ball?
It's fear. She's very, very manipulative. She's very good at playing people. So, for example, William is very against her. I mean, clearly Philip was very against her. But she works on people like Camilla. She works on people like Charles.
Then came August 2025. Ben filed for divorce. This is public record. Jessica notably didn't follow Meghan's new Instagram account launched in January 2025, confirming the complete estrangement between the former best friends. Now, according to sources, the situation is reaching a critical point. Multiple insiders claim Jessica has been confiding to trusted allies that Meghan conducted an affair with Ben during the Toronto years, when all three were supposedly close friends. One source characterizes Jessica's private statements this way. Meghan allegedly slept with her husband during the period when everyone believed they were simply friends, engaging in years of calculated manipulation. Another insider claims Jessica has told close friends she possesses proof, old messages, or communications from that era that would conclusively demonstrate the affair occurred. With her marriage now ending and her career already destroyed, she's questioning why she should continue protecting Meghan's reputation.
Now take a look at this picture, chums. Yeah, can you see this? This is a very, very clear and in many people's opinion, quite a depressing picture of what's supposed to be one of the greatest love stories of this century. We're talking, of course, about the failed entrepreneur Meghan Markle, former cable TV actress, and of course the Duke, formerly known as Prince Harry. And this picture, and what I know, tells 1,000 words, as they often say. As ever, let me explain.
The specificity and consistency of these claims emerging from different sources lends them a disturbing credibility, though coordinated rumor campaigns remain possible. The timeline raises profound questions. Jessica married Ben in October 2008, and Meghan moved to Toronto in 2011. For years afterward, Meghan was allegedly deeply integrated into their lives, close to their family, around their children, while supposedly conducting an affair with Ben. If these allegations prove true, this transcends simple friendship betrayal. This would represent sociopathic-level manipulation and deception.
I think she was scared of coming back to this country, and quite rightly, because the people of this country don't like the fact that she's stolen our prince. And she's literally brainwashed him, blinkered him, and tied him down to his California mansion.
We're nearly out of time, but quickly, Jim, it couldn't be possible, could it, that a bloke gets sort of falls in love and...
forbid.
If Jessica ever makes these allegations public with supporting evidence, the implications are devastating on multiple levels. First, it completely destroys Meghan's carefully constructed narrative about her Toronto years, the official story of living normally, maintaining a close friendship with Jessica's family, and meeting Harry through natural circumstances. If Jessica claims Meghan was secretly sleeping with Ben throughout this period, it reveals a completely different person operating behind a wholesome public facade. Second, it validates long-standing criticisms about Meghan's pattern of using people and discarding them when convenient. If she betrayed her best friend through an affair with her husband, then abandoned Jessica in 2020 when supporting her became inconvenient, that's a pattern extending far beyond normal ambition. Third, it makes Harry appear foolish for marrying someone whose past included serious behavior she never disclosed.
Well, this woman is just a master manipulator. It's the entire reason that they left the royal family in the first place. They constantly banged on about saying, we want privacy, we want privacy. Well, I don't think a 6-part Netflix series is privacy, nor is an Oprah interview. What she really wanted was control, because she is a manipulator. She wanted to be able to manipulate people, and she couldn't manipulate the press in the UK. That's why she was angry. She couldn't force people to write the stories that she wanted them to write. So therefore, she left to get privacy so that she could write the stories in her own perspective.
Sources claim Jessica has been telling people she preserved evidence from years ago. One insider alleges Jessica apparently possesses text messages between her and Meghan from that period where Meghan admits to the relationship with Ben, She's kept them like insurance in case she ever needed leverage. Another source claims there are supposedly photos or documentation that would make denial impossible for Meghan. Jessica has allegedly shown some of this material to close friends recently, which explains why these rumors are circulating now with such intensity.
Harry, to put it politely, I think she is very manipulative. Meghan Markle is someone who's basically got rid of almost her entire family on her side, apart from her mother, her entire family on the father's side, including her father, which is incredibly sad. And now she's wrestled Harry away from his family.
Consider the implications if these allegations contain truth. Jessica and Ben's marriage lasted 16 years but is now dissolving. Sources suggest the divorce is resurfacing old resentments about Meghan's role in damaging their relationship years ago. One insider described Jessica's realization this way. Her marriage was damaged by Meghan back in Toronto. The friendship contributed to problems with Ben, and now she's lost both the friendship and the marriage. So why continue protecting someone who destroyed so much? Meghan's documented pattern of cutting people off adds crucial context here. Her father, Thomas, her half-siblings, multiple friends, including Jessica, anyone who became inconvenient or burdensome. If Jessica now claims that pattern extended to sleeping with her husband while masquerading as her best friend, it aligns with behavior people have already criticized.
Of course he is. But nonetheless, the sheer level and accumulation of vile and gross detail about all things Andrew, which begin with the revelation that he lost his virginity aged 11, prostitute hired by his father no less, and then it ends with all these horrible revelations of his involvement with Jeffrey Epstein, who apparently had compromat on the Duke of York.
Jessica's 5 years of silence since 2020 has been remarkably notable. If she possessed nothing damaging to reveal, why would reports suggest Meghan's team worries about a potential tell-all? The fact that Jessica could speak but deliberately chooses not to strongly suggests she knows information worth protecting or worth weaponizing. Here's what sources indicate about Jessica's current state of mind. One claims the divorce fundamentally changed everything for her. She's undergoing therapy, processing how extensively Meghan manipulated her over the years. This therapeutic process is leading to revelations about the affair and other behavior Jessica witnessed but never publicly discussed.
Meghan Markle, on the other hand, I'm not going to say narcissist, psychopath, borderline, but I would say, parasite, and I would say highly manipulative. She's entered a foreign territory, literally and figuratively, and gouged something out of that territory, taken it away to another place, and is now feeding on it.
Another insider said Jessica has allegedly told friends that Meghan systematically used her for connections, slept with her husband, then abandoned her completely when she faced scandal. Now that Ben is divorcing her anyway, what remains to protect? What's left worth preserving through continued silence?
Came to the realization that they take up more of my mental energy focusing on the two biggest dirtbags that I've ever come across. And they're my family members, they take up more of my time and more of my energy, and it's just not even worth it to even think about them anymore.
Let's connect critical dots about why the affair allegation makes logical sense from a timeline perspective, if true. Meghan moved to Toronto in 2011 as a relatively unknown actress. Furret. By 2016, she's vacationing in elite European destinations, attending exclusive events, appearing remarkably comfortable in luxury settings that don't align with a typical Suits actress salary. Jessica and Ben's connections to Canadian elite circles could have facilitated much of that access. If an affair was occurring, it would explain how Meghan integrated so rapidly into Toronto's exclusive social circles. It would explain why Jessica was so fiercely, almost irrationally protective of Meghan for years. It would explain why the friendships ending in 2020 was so brutal and absolute, because there were deeper, more painful betrayals underneath that were never addressed publicly. Sources claim Jessica has been specifically reconsidering her silence because of how Meghan abandoned her in 2020. One insider alleges that Jessica lost absolutely everything protecting Meghan: her career, her reputation, her public image, all systematically destroyed while Meghan remained silent and severed contact. Now the marriage is ending too, possibly damaged by what Meghan did years ago. Jessica is asking herself a fundamental question. Why should she continue protecting someone who gave her nothing but devastating pain? Here's what makes the manipulation angle particularly compelling and disturbing.
Meghan is a trained actress. What she does is that she studies people. She's not a good actress, but she is a trained one, right? She's been doing it her entire life. And there is no doubt that she studied Princess Diana. She studied her mannerisms towards Harry when he was a boy and the way that she grabs her face. And this is the psychopathic elements of what she does, putting a pregnancy text next to Princess Diana's hair, saying that she put her hands on the grave to have a conversation with her, bursting into tears.
Multiple sources in 2020 suggested Meghan felt Jessica was attempting to build a career off their friendship. But what if that was classic projection? What if Meghan was actually the one exploiting the friendship for career advancement, social connections, and access to Ben, then accused Jessica of using her when it became convenient to end the relationship? That kind of accusatory reversal represents classic manipulator behavior, accusing others of precisely what you yourself are doing. Consider the timeline of when everything shifted dramatically. Jessica publicly defended Meghan multiple times throughout 2019 and early 2020. Then, the Sasha Exeter scandal erupts in June 2020, and within mere days, Meghan has completely severed all contact with Jessica. That's not the behavior of a genuine friend. That's someone who was seeking an exit and discovered the perfect justification. If there had been an affair years earlier that Jessica knew about but remained silent on, Meghan cutting her off so brutally makes strategic sense as eliminating someone who knows too much.
I think he's not the brightest bulb in the tulip patch, Harry, to put it politely. I think she is very manipulative. Meghan Markle is someone who's basically got rid of almost her entire family on her side, apart from her mother, her entire family on the father's side, including her father, which is incredibly sad. And now she's wrestled Harry away from his family.
Sources suggest that if Jessica goes public with affair allegations, she would absolutely need concrete evidence to avoid devastating defamation lawsuits. The fact that insiders claim she possesses messages or documentation supposedly shown to close friends recently suggests she's prepared for that legal battle if it materializes. One source alleges that Jessica knows exactly what evidence she has and precisely what it proves. So she's been sitting on it for years, preserving it carefully. The only question is whether she decides going public is worth the inevitable fight. Here's what allegedly happens next, based on what sources are suggesting about the unfolding situation. First, Jessica is supposedly still deciding whether to speak publicly or continue maintaining her silence. The divorce has her fundamentally reconsidering, but she hasn't reached a final decision. Second, if she does speak out, sources claim she would provide the evidence she's allegedly been preserving to substantiate the affair accusations. Third, Meghan's legal team would immediately threaten aggressive lawsuits, but if evidence exists proving the claims, legal threats become significantly harder to enforce effectively. One insider claims that if Jessica comes forward with affair allegations backed by actual proof, like messages where Meghan explicitly admits it, Meghan's entire carefully constructed image collapses. She cannot continue positioning herself as a victim if it emerges that she was sleeping with her best friend's husband while manipulating people for years. Another source suggests Meghan's team is allegedly monitoring this situation with extreme vigilance because they understand Jessica could destroy her reputation overnight if she decides to stop protecting her. The only factors keeping Jessica silent right now are her own character, integrity, and perhaps fear of legal retaliation and public scrutiny. Let's address exactly what we're dealing with here based on verifiable information. We have documented facts about a close, decade-long friendship that ended brutally in 2020, with Jessica losing everything while Meghan severed all contact. We have documented divorce proceedings between Jessica and Ben announced in August 2025. We have documented silence from Jessica for 5 years despite reported 7-figure book offers. These are indisputable facts. And But what we also have are multiple sources making remarkably similar allegations about Jessica, claiming Meghan conducted an affair with Ben, that she possesses evidence, and that the divorce is making her reconsider her continued silence. These could represent truth or could represent coordinated fabrications. Without Jessica speaking publicly or evidence being presented, we cannot know with certainty, but the pattern is absolutely worth examining. Meghan has a documented history of cutting people off who become inconvenient. Substantiate. Jessica has a documented history of protecting Meghan even after being abandoned. The divorce is documented fact happening right now. Sources are making specific, detailed claims about affair allegations and evidence that align with patterns of behavior people have already observed. Whether it's entirely true, entirely false, or somewhere in between, one thing is absolutely clear. The woman who was Meghan's closest friend for a decade, who knows more about Meghan's Toronto years than virtually anyone else, is experiencing a life transformation that could potentially shift her priorities from protecting Meghan's image to protecting her own truth. So where does this leave us as we head into 2026? Jessica Mulroney is navigating a divorce while sources claim she's revealing privately an affair between Meghan and Ben. With allegations about manipulation and betrayal that allegedly extended far beyond what became public in 2020. Reports suggest evidence exists that would prove these claims if Jessica ever decided to present it publicly. And Meghan's team is reportedly deeply worried about what the woman who holds all her secrets might finally reveal. Whether these affair allegations represent truth or fabricated rumors, whether Jessica ever speaks publicly or continues her silence, the fundamental dynamic has irrevocably shifted. Jessica has nothing left to lose anymore. Her career is gone. Her marriage is ending. Her friendship with Meghan has been dead for 5 years, and sources claim she's sitting on information that would systematically destroy everything Meghan has carefully built. The only remaining question is whether she decides that truth matters more than continued silence, and based on what insiders are suggesting about her current mindset and emotional state, that decision might be much closer to reality than Meghan wants to believe.